Shalom, and welcome back to the Revolution of Knowledge. This next topic I feel is one of the most important messages of Yah to the Hebrews and non-Hebrews alike. Your present-day life is about to change so quickly and dramatically, there will be no time to second think. You will have to possess the understanding of Yah's truth. That's the only way you will perceive your exit out of this God-forbidden country, America, and all the other countries we are presently held captive. Now, this topic is very powerful because it involves a choice of life or death. Your choice to transit to the all-powerful government of Zion will be the beginning of a peaceful age here on earth, divinely achieved by obedience or disobedience. Now, according to Jeremiah 30:16, Yah spoke saying, all the nations where we are enslaved and held captive, like here in America, etc., the nations who have devoured the Hebrew Israelites during the time of our slavery, these nations shall be devoured. All of our enemies shall go into captivity. You see, our judgment of captivity through the Gentiles will return upon their own heads. All those nations who plundered us will be plundered, and all the nations who preyed upon us, Yah will make them a prey. Now, this information is the key that opens up the door of salvation from the kingdom of Yah with discipline and the direct enforcement of Yah's law from Zion, the new capital of the planet Earth, when Yah raises King David up to rule. Now, Jeremiah explains the judgment of Yah that will come upon our enemies wherever we are held captive from slavery. In this day and age, I'm going to go into detail about the transition of all power to Zion and what it all entails. America and all the existing countries have been preparing for this great day of Yah, found in Jeremiah 30:8-9. This is the day of Israel's release from slavery. However, in Jeremiah 30:16, Yah has spoken of a judgment upon our enemies, those who have enslaved us. Several American presidents have signed executive orders that will allow and legalize a totalitarian government or dictatorship with all of their populations in complete subservience to the state, meaning to be under the complete control of the government. These executive orders that were signed is a fulfillment of Yah's prophecy found in Jeremiah 30:16 to enslave those who have enslaved us. President Obama has signed the last executive orders that will bring Yah's prophecy to its completion by enslaving those who have enslaved us. The American government, along with its fake constitution, will cease to exist as a #1 superpower of the planet when Zion becomes the capital of the world. All nations, starting with America, will become subservient with complete control over their populations from Zion. That's why America and the Americans who are paying attention have observed a buildup of arms for civil unrest within America and beyond, because all governments are preparing to humble themselves completely to Zion or perish. So they will have to control their populations. Their armies will be used to enforce this judgment. And the Americans, along with the other nations, will no longer enjoy their sinful ways of life. The Hebrews' judgment was against the Hebrews. However, America and all the other nations will suffer the same fate that covered us in shame for many centuries. It will be a troublous time for the world because their sinful way of life will no longer exist without the judgment of God being enforced. I believe this judgment will happen before President Obama is out of office. Now, the Americans and others besides the secret societies are not aware of this fate. But soon the world will dramatically change through the revolution of Yah, and no one will escape Yah's judgments. Now, according to Isaiah 16:12, the nations who will not serve Israel, those nations shall perish. All governments on the face of this earth are well informed of this transition of power to Zion. That's why they have been preparing for decades and have built underground cities for the elite of the earth to live separately from the civilian population. They will control America's population from the underground with their military forces that will enforce their dictatorship upon all Americans. This judgment of Yah is because of tremendous sin from the American people. Now, when the children of Israel were enslaved here in America and abroad, our enemies inflicted great atrocities that were unspeakable against the Hebrew Israelites, better known as slaves. So this judgment against them is a righteous judgment from Yah, God of Israel. I personally do not feel sorry for them. We suffered, now it's time for them to suffer. We served our enemies, now it's time for them to serve us. Our enemies has been given this power from Yah to judge over us. Now Yah, God of Israel, will transfer this power to Zion, and we will rule over our enemies forever. Now all the so-called Americans and others will see with their own eyes when America and all the nations of the earth are under the complete control of Zion. Only Christians and non-followers of Yah will rage with fanatic lies and inciting terrorist acts because they believe if they die for their pagan religion, they will go to heaven. But in divine actuality, they have all been deceived greatly. Zion will bring the truth of Yah to all nations, but the rebels will die by Yah's judgment. During this transition of power. However, again, the governments are preparing to bow down to Zion and serve the Hebrews and build our cities and bring all the riches of the world to Israel or perish, that we may glorify our God and his majesty when Yah establishes his judgment in the earth and raises King David up, his firstborn son, to rule over all the children of Israel from Zion, indeed the world. All those who don't come back when Yah raises King David up from Zion, when he calls for the people to come back home, the people who stay back will become enslaved, literally. No matter what nationality you are, no matter how strong you think you are, if you are not a part of the elite secret societies, you will be enslaved. Now this judgment is being fulfilled for the simple fact that when we leave these kingdoms that we are held captive in today, the Most High Yah has spoken saying, you will work for Zion. And if you do not fulfill the commandment of Zion, when you are ordered to, no matter where you may dwell, here in America or China or Russia and so on, your nation will perish. Again, that's why all the major governments are preparing to lock their populations down in order to control you with a totalitarian government in which will have total control over every aspect of their population's life. You will all become subservient to not only Zion, but to those who are organizing this divine preparation to obey the law from Zion. They know if their population has the rights of freedom, like the American Constitution allows, that you could not be legally forced to obey your governments. Therefore, when martial law is enforced, you will be forced to do what the government tells you to do. Now keep in mind that when the children of Israel are leaving these countries because they have been delivered by Yah, God of Israel, through his servant King David from Zion, after Yah raises him up as leader and commander over all the kingdoms of the earth. You may laugh at these individuals who return back to Israel, mocking them, saying you're going to hell and King David is the Antichrist, and so on and so on. But the fact still remains, your destiny will be sealed here in America, where you chose to stay. And you will obey and serve the kingdom of Yah from Zion, here in America and abroad. And all your governments will forcibly take away all of your rights you ever had. You will not be able to protest this judgment of Yah, God of Israel. That's why they have created FEMA camps and concentration camps and prison camps and work camps and any other kind of camp you can think of to control their populations and to force them into subservience to Zion. These camps have been built here in America and abroad to house you and your family and have complete and total control over their populations as a whole. This will be the judgment of Yah upon all our enemies here in America and abroad. So when you see the real children of Israel and the non-Hebrews leaving America from many other nations under the leadership of King David from Zion, those who stay in these evil Gentile nations will suffer until Yah returns for his personal judgment. And here are the signs of Yah's return to the earth. The sun, the moon, and the stars, even all the constellations of heaven, will not give their light. And the entire earth and the heavens will shake at the Yah of hosts' presence. Then the earth will know Yah, God of the universe, from that time forth, even forevermore. Praise Yah.